Greetings, and welcome to Mud Fossils, The Heart of the Matter, Part 2. If you haven't already seen Part 1, I strongly urge you to go back and watch that first. As I go through all of the anatomy you'll need to be familiar with to get the most out of this video. If you've seen Part 1, but it's been a while, you may want to skim through it again at double or triple speed to refresh your memory and train your eyes to better recognize the things I'll be showing you today. The risk, if you don't have a general knowledge of heart anatomy, is that you may mistakenly conclude, as my 15 and 17-year-old kids have done, without having seen any of my videos, of course, that the stones I'll be showing you today just look like regular rocks, Dad. But if you do know a bit of the anatomy, you'll easily begin to see these rocks for what they are, an avalanche of evidence in support of theories about rapid petrification and the true biological origin of the many different kinds of rocks we see, which is something that mainstream geology has either completely missed or purposefully obfuscated. If we never make an effort to test things for ourselves, we can very easily be led astray. Then we're left to rely solely on the high priests of scientism to give us our truths or our doctrines. It's an incredibly worthwhile exercise to go out now and again to observe the world with new eyes and question even our most fundamental beliefs. We do have to be careful, though. It's quite easy to mislead ourselves, choosing to believe things just because they appeal to us. When I began to explore this subject, I was worried about doing just that. Being an artist, I'm no stranger to pareidolia. In fact, I love to let my mind make abstract connections. Take this photo of a tree, for example. Is this proof that Sigmund Freud has been reincarnated as a tree, cigar and all? Or how about this E.T. tree? The resemblance is undeniable, but these are clearly chance patterns emerging. But if I were to find an entire forest of E.T. or Freud trees, there might be something more to it. Our imaginations can take us to wonderful and creative places. But if we are going to draw conclusions or make statements that something is a fact, we better be ready with some hard evidence backing our claims. This video is that hard evidence. So how do we avoid the pitfalls of cognitive bias and pareidolia? Science, baby! It's really simple. So simple, even a kid can understand it. Most people are familiar with the existence of petrified trees. It's not such a stretch in thinking to understand how something similar could happen to organs. But as far as everything we've been taught by mainstream geology about the origins of stones and the geological timeline, well, all that changes if these stones are indeed petrified organs. But what if it's just chance that the rocks I'll be showing you today only look like hearts? Trust me, I've asked myself the same question over and over. After coming across the rock I featured in the first video, I began to form a hypothesis. If it were truly a heart, then I should be able to go out and find the same specific forms repeating themselves across a variety of different sizes and different kinds of rock. I believe that by the end of this video, you'll be convinced, or at least open to the possibility that these stones are indeed petrified organs. In the next video, I'll discuss the various mechanisms behind how all of this could have occurred. In a moment, I'll show you footage of me out looking for and gathering these heart stones. In the second half of the video, I've brought the ones I could back to my office and sorted them by category, making it easier for you to identify the key anatomical features and to begin to spot these for yourselves. Keep in mind that the stone I covered in the first video exhibited all of the features I'll be showing today in the other rocks. It seems as though I was led to find that rock, especially considering I found it just a few days after asking the universe to send me undeniable, conclusive mud fossil proof. Ironically, it is still to this day the most complete and detailed of the hearts that I've found. Each of the others exhibit several of the key features of hearts, but not all. My hope with this video is that some of you will be inspired to go out and find similar stones with even more irrefutable details, and that this evidence will ultimately lead to a revision of the earth science we call geology. I've approached this as scientifically as I could. I've made observations, formed a hypothesis, tested the hypothesis, have repeated the process several times with the same results. If we find our explanations for what we observe to be far-fetched, convoluted mental gymnastics, then we should take a step back and try to see the bigger picture and ask ourselves if there isn't a simpler explanation for what we are observing. In moments like these, Occam's razor can be our best friend. If our river bottoms are examined as potential crime scenes, then what we find there may indeed be the evidence of the biological remains of some great cataclysm. So, without further ado, okay, this is only my third outing doing this. I found that first heart that we've gone through, and then I went out on one other occasion and found over a dozen. Now here, in this little space right here, in the space of about 10 minutes, and I found all of these. And I'm going to show you how all of those are very likely hearts. So you can see they come in a variety of shapes and sizes and colors. And I think that all depends on what creature they came from and how they were fossilized, what they were in when they were fossilized. So you have to understand that these are going to flatten out in different ways. Some of their corners are going to be better defined, but there's going to be certain morphological similarities, and I'll show you how to recognize these in just a moment. So, triangular shape, you've got this rising up here, you've got a cutaway here, and oftentimes here. So I think what's happening is that one of the two ventricles is almost all muscle. That would be this one. And the other one is filled with a lot more fluid. So when it starts to fossilize and it compresses, I think that's why it's going in here, because this ventricle is much smaller. This is all muscle. Okay, so again, we've got blood vessels, cut out, openings here, and then this could have been the aorta up here, and then this is where it attached. Another, same pyramid shape, you've got the openings here. Up at the top, you've got clear openings for the aorta, vena cava. Here's the attachments. We turn it over, we get this classic, it's shaped like a harp. Actually, I just realized, harp, heart, interesting. So you're going to have the cutout here, and again, there's those openings. Okay? Stay with me here, it'll be worth it. So here, again, you've got this repeating shape of the rising up, you've got a cutout here, a cutout here. So this would be the other ventricle again. This was definitely some kind of an opening, I think, if it was a heart. We turn it on the side again, we see openings here. We see the chunky area where this would have attached. Remember, I gathered these in the space of less than 10 minutes. So here again, if we look, this mound here, it's like there's a plane going this way, a plane going this way, and a plane going that way. Look at that, same thing here. You've got just the overall hint of the shape, and you can see that harp shape that it exhibits from both sides. And then here again, same thing. Here you got the hint of blood vessels, you've got the connection for the pleura, maybe more blood vessels here. You got this, here we've got just more straight lines. Well, I must confess that this is rather addictive. So now I've done another 10 minutes of hunting, and I'm going to go through these rocks with you. And right about there is where I began the first video. So this is just groundbreaking stuff. If you've seen my other videos, you understand that I'm interested in, accumulating a large number of coincidences, and I think this is really just kind of the nail in the coffin. I don't even know how to add them up. But here you see the harp shape again. You see the cutout here. You've got that 3-plane thing going on. As we turn here, you can see the hint of openings to former blood vessels. Even from this side, it looks like a heart or a harp, and you can see the connections to the pleura. Here, same thing. You've got the cutout, not so pronounced, but you still got these 3 planes. You've got this cutout here, openings to the blood vessels, more blood vessels, and connection to the pleura. So, I mean, there they are again. Here we go. Same thing. There and there, there and there. Got the overall shape, the harp form, cutouts up at the top, a little bit rough and kind of messy where it was attached. But there you got the 3 planes again. You've got the blood vessels at the top, in the sides, right there. And then when we look at it this way, you've got the additional openings for the blood vessels. Harp shape cut out, possibly a little rough on top. This one is just more for the overall morphology. There you get the hint of the opening to the blood vessels. Again, harp shape, 3 planes, the top attachments. It's interesting coincidence, isn't it? Considering they're all different sizes. So if they were part of some bigger rock structure that broke off and then they just happened to erode that way, isn't that weird that they're all kind of the same shape and they have the same indentations that look a lot like blood vessels? Here we go. This is a perfect specimen. There you've got your ridge, your 3 planes. You've got indentations here. Look, connections to the pleura and possible blood vessel openings. And then the cutout here, no real hint of things. But you can see even from this side. Same shape. So are we getting to the heart of the matter? Got your three shapes. The top, blood vessel openings. These last 3 are really spectacular. Okay, got your cutout again. There's a lot of other holes here, so who knows, maybe it started to decompose before it fossilized, but look at this. How about that? So, how many coincidences does it take before you have a preponderance of evidence? And how many coincidences before something is just a fact? So, if we go to the end, not so much on this one, but on all of these other ones. Let's see, here, it's all kind of chunky, and that is where the insertion of the upper blood vessels and I think into the pleura would have been. Look at these beautiful blood vessel openings, the planes, the roughness at the top. And let's not forget the harp shape. Here's one that's a bit more elongated. You got your blood vessels on top. This one's really smooth, so Maybe there's been some erosion, but you still got the sides there and that overall harp shape. In literally about a half an hour of walking around, I found all of these in varying sizes, different colors, slightly different shapes, but overall exhibiting these same morphology. These three planes, the cutouts, the blood vessels. It's repeating itself over and over again, and it's scalable. And it's so scalable that I'll show you this one last one here. Didn't want to move it because it's so big. So this is the biggest one I've ever found yet. Look at the size of that. Here's my foot. How big was that being? So you got your planes, you've got your openings, and check this out. Ta-da! They're all a little different. It depends on how they got compressed. Check it out. Right there on the sides. Your blood vessels here. Here at the top, the attachments. That harp shape. How big was this creature? What was it? That's the thing. They could have been humanoid, they could have been animals. They seem to be all shapes and sizes. But whatever that was, it was big. And where to go? This one? Here. Look at this. Here's another one. This one's really obvious. Cut out, blood vessel, attachment to the pleura. Let me turn this one over. Harp shape. That was under the earth. But yeah, so even the biggest rocks here are showing the same form. So one more for the record books. This is a big one. There's my foot. See the cutout on the left. See the harp shape, the different planes. There aren't very many rocks this size here. They're all kind of small, but even the biggest ones, this one and one I'll show you over there in a second, even these have these same shapes to them. So which ones are hearts, which ones are livers, which ones are lungs? I've got another video I do on ones that I think are livers. Got some of those that I've gathered as well. That one's got a little bit of the features, but it doesn't, it's... Anyway, hope you enjoyed the journey. I sure have. It's been enlightening, to say the least, to have a theory about something and go out and test the theory and then come back with literally an avalanche of evidence in support of that theory. I mean, that's how science is supposed to be done, right? Rather than scientism. Hey, check that out. There's another one. Look at that, the rough spots on top. The openings for the blood vessels. So I don't know about all the river bottoms of the world, but at least the river bottoms that have all these nice smooth rocks that you see all over the place. There's your three planes, and then you've got, it's hard to see, but there, you've got that overall harp shape with the openings. There's probably your aorta vena cava at the top and your pleural attachment. I don't know about you guys, but for me, case closed. You just go out and try this yourselves. See if you come up with the same kinds of results I have, because if this can be reproduced all over the world, it'll be undeniable, you know. Hello. So, I just finished a nice conversation with a friend, and while talking to him on this pebble beach right here, I did a little more looking. It was about a half an hour conversation, and this is what I found. Quite a coincidence, huh? I don't know about that one, but it's still got the same shape. Some of them are a little fleshy. Very, very specific shapes, over and over again. All slightly different, but all the same. You can even see the little hints of openings in them. And there are more than hints. Yeah. So, look at that beauty. Taking that one home. They're all slightly different rock. They're all a little different, but yeah. All beautiful in their own way, huh?